One Pride, what's going on? It's your boy, T. Back at it again with another episode of Talking with T. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the joint practices with the New York Giants, the takeaways that the beat writers took away, and stuff I want to talk about from these joint practices. So without further ado, let's dive right into the video. The first takeaway that I took from the joint practices with the New York Giants is the Detroit Lions don't need us to tell them that there's a ton of hype around them. The Detroit Lions don't need us to be hyping them up. They're going to go out there and they're going to put the work in and they're going to go out there and ball out just the way like they're supposed to. You heard reports day one of these joint practices against the New York Giants that the Lions came out and kind of dominated the New York Giants. The Giants offense with 5 or 12. They've had to run multiple plays, more than 4 plays in the red zone to finally score, and I don't even think they did. So it just goes to show that all this hype that we're hearing around the Detroit Lions, it's legit. They're coming out there. This is the most talented this team's ever been. And I know they haven't played an actual down of football in an actual game yet so far. But know what they are doing? They're going out and doing what they're supposed to do. They're working hard, and they're going to produce this year. That's why I have the belief in this team. There's no longer, are they going to be good? Are they going to let us down? No, they should not let you down. This is the most talented this team's ever been. And the way they would have let me down this week is if they would have laid an egg against the New York Giants, and they didn't lay an egg against the New York Giants at practice this week. Yesterday, it came back that the Giants bounced back yesterday, but that's kind of warranted. It's practice. It's practice. You're going to come out and you're going to dominate. They're going to go watch film and they're going to come out and try to attack you from a different angle. This is good for the Detroit Lions. I'm pumped for the Jacksonville Jaguars to come in next week. These joint practices are huge, and we stayed healthy so far for the most part. So I'm really thrilled about what's going on with the Detroit Lions. The second takeaway I have from these joint practices with the New York Giants is Jahmyr Gibbs is him, man. It came out this week that Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of tearing it up in the pass game. He had 2 red zone touchdowns against the New York Giants on Tuesday. Yesterday, he ran one in. Yesterday, I guess he had a catch on the sideline that the Giants were saying he was out of bounds, but the Lions were saying he was inbounds. He's just been flashing, and he is the reason why the Detroit Lions took him with the 12th pick. I can't wait to see him play in the game against the Giants in the preseason, and I can't wait for the season opener, man. I might have to put a bet on him to win Rookie of the Year. And the other rookie that's been tearing it up in camp, had a good couple practices against New York Giants, is Sam Laporta. There's reports coming out that the rookies that the Detroit Lions took early are tearing it up in practice. Haven't been hearing much about Jack Campbell, but we'll talk about the linebacker core in a second. You're hearing Brian Branch is getting reps with the starters against the New York Giants' starting wide receivers. This is so huge. And if the Detroit Lions put 3 back-to-back good draft classes together, this might be the start of something very special here in Detroit. Look at the success of all the other teams that have won the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs, they continue to draft well. That's why they're contenders every single year. The 49ers, they're continuing to draft well. This is what you do. This is how successful teams stay successful. They draft well, and that's what the Detroit Lions have done the last few years, and hopefully this year they put a 3rd draft class in a row to stack together, man. Broderick Martin tearing it up. I'm so thrilled with how the rookies performed this week against the New York Giants from what I'm hearing. Now let's talk about the linebacker rotation. I'm hearing Derek Barnes is starting to separate himself from everybody else. So it's going to be Anzalone, Derek Barnes. Anzalone at the wheel, Derek Barnes at the mic. This is awesome. I'm glad Derek Barnes is finally starting to take the next step, and this is what goes back to my point about the draft. You draft players and you count on them to keep developing through the coaches that you got here. This is why it's so huge to have the coaching staff that the Detroit Lions have, and you just keep developing the young players. They keep taking that next step to get better. So you're not spending a boatload of your money in free agency. You're spending it on your players, homegrown talent that just keep developing and buying into the culture that you've built here. This is how you win. This is how you develop a winning program. This is how you develop a winning culture, man. I'm so pumped that we got Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes running the freaking show for the Detroit Lions, and I'm pumped that the offense this past week was tearing it up against the New York Giants. Yesterday it came out that the Giants bounced back a little bit, and they had a nasty textbook strip on David Montgomery. If you haven't seen that, you should go watch it. One of their DBs came up behind David Montgomery and just took the ball right from him. Protect that ball, David Montgomery. We're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs just running all over the place. I'm excited for this season. If you guys can't tell, I'm all into the Kool-Aid. I drink too much of it. They may let me down, but I highly doubt that they're going to let me down. This practice against the New York Giants, we got a bunch of good work in this week. the trash talking to Amani Aurier. This was just a great week. The culture is set. Time for the Lions to take that next step this year. I'm so pumped for this season. I cannot wait for week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. But we got next week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We got a preseason game against the New York Giants. Let's keep staying healthy and let's keep riding that momentum to game 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's your boy T signing out, and these were my takeaways from the joint practices against the New York Giants. I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Please keep helping this channel grow, and I'll see you guys.